right, Danielle, here we are for All-Star Week for the W Hoops podcast. And before the All-Star game, the Fever had two other games and had kind of a big development um, in the first game of the week.
Yeah, so they had a tough schedule. They played last Sunday and then they played Tuesday against Connecticut in Boston, and then again against New York the next day. So that's a tough schedule. And in the Connecticut game, Clark gets hurt again at the very end, and so that's just unfortunate. Another muscle thing, I think groin, right? But the other groin. So yeah, it's really just too bad that she can't get fully healthy.
Yeah, I mean, those soft tissue injuries can take time, and I hope they will just give her time. It could be 4 to 6 weeks, I think,
Yeah,
for an injury like that.
yeah,
Unfortunately, it's so, I mean, obviously big news for the Indiana Fever. I mean, it was a win against Connecticut, which is expected. They're the weakest team in the league. But yeah, just she's not catching any breaks after going years with getting no injuries.
right.
Just injury after injury this year, it feels like.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And it's hard to know, are they bringing her back too soon? Is it just kind of one of those really unlucky things? And it was also like right at the end of the game, but it ended up being a pretty close game, and so they did need her in, and she was the one who kind of gave them the separation in the fourth quarter from them. I think she scored nine straight or something, and finally hit a three. And in that game, they talked about like her three-point shooting on the road has been atrocious this year. It was literally her second three she's hit on the road all year. And she's missed 30 something threes on the road. So um, she just hasn't quite gotten in a groove yet. Yeah, it was unfortunate to see. They came away with the win, which was good. But another kerfuffle with the refs. A little hard to see what happened there. You couldn't really see what the ref said, but Clark was talking pretty calmly to him, and then he said something, and then she got really mad about it. Um, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, the best lip reader in the game, John Boy, put
Hmm.
out a video about it, and his guess was the ref said something like, "You're having a bad game, don't take it out on me."
Yeah.
And she went off. And I mean, I don't know. It was really, I don't know if he had a good angle. It didn't seem to me like he could really see. I don't know how John Boy
Yeah, it was probably
got
just a
to that.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just a guess, but yeah, I mean, it's a reasonable guess.
Yeah.
Kind of a smart aleck thing for the ref to say, but he must have said something to really, I mean, just trigger her and get her angry because she was frustrated, but she seemed to be just expressing her frustration pretty calmly and normally. And then
Yeah.
she just got real angry real quickly and said she was going to call the league office. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
another kerfuffle
Yeah.
here with,
Uh,
and it seems to be something with the Connecticut Sun and the Fever this
hmm.
year that things just weird things happened. And you had Nelson Adota going full Connecticut Sun on
Yeah.
Sophie Cunningham. What's going on with the
Yeah, I
Connecticut
saw
Sun
that
and
with the
Indiana
elbow.
Fever?
Yeah. I thankfully just one more game against them this season, so hopefully we can get through that unscathed.
Yeah.
Kelsey had a good game. She had 20 points on an efficient 8 for 13, so that was good. But it was kind of just a sloppy game. They couldn't really get any separation until the end where Caitlin scored a bunch in a row. So um, that's just one that it's a win and you kind of move on.
Yeah. So it was good. They needed that win Tuesday. Then Wednesday, they had back to back, had to travel to New York to play the Liberty. And that's what they call in the NBA a schedule loss. It was just, that was no matter what, they were probably going to lose that game. Even if Caitlin was healthy, they probably would have
Right.
lost that game. It's
Yeah, they
just,
played
those
3 games in 4 days,
and traveling to
and no
in three different
Caitlin.
cities, right? Those three games are in three different cities,
Right.
and so that's just a schedule loss. You know, you can anticipate that.
But it was, I noticed Boston got blocked a lot. I don't know how many blocks New York ended up with, but it felt like everyone for all of New York's bigs were blocking her. And that's John Quell's not even back yet. So you would have liked to see Boston be a little more productive against the New York bigs.
Yeah, it was just a tough game. I mean, they New York just kind of dominated,
Yeah.
and it felt like Indiana just didn't have much energy.
Yeah. And Timpson got in there in the third quarter and was impactful. So that's always nice to see anytime you see productive, meaningful Timpson minutes. But yeah, the schedule just was kind of tough, and yeah, you expect a loss there for sure.
Yeah. But one thing I dig into a little bit, kind of we've touched on it some, but I feel like it's gotten just totally overshadowed with all the news with Caitlin's injury is Lexie's minutes.
Yeah.
And so here I did a little digging into the numbers. So in June, there were 10 games. In the first 9 games, she averaged 32.7 minutes a game. And then
And
in
that
the
was with
10th,
Bonner start. Well, no, was Bonner still starting in June at all? Maybe not.
I don't think Bonner was still starting, but
Okay.
she was averaging 32.7 minutes a game. And then the 10th game is a little lower, so I didn't. So, say 31 minutes per game on average in June. But her last 4 games have been 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 14 minutes, and 19 minutes.
Yeah.
So she's
And the last
averaging,
one there, she came off the bench.
yeah, she's averaging
Yeah.
basically 16 minutes a game. And I just haven't heard anything. I mean, her
Right.
thumb, one of her thumbs is wrapped. I don't think it's her shooting hand. I think it's
Hmm.
her offhand. But I just, it's strange to me. I mean, it feels like it's gotten totally overshadowed because of Caitlin's injury, but
Hmm.
feels significant still that to go from 32 minutes a game to 16, I mean, half the playing time in
Yeah.
July that she's gotten in June.
Yeah. And I expect you'd see a correlation with Sophie's minutes going up as Sophie has gotten healthy, because Sophie had injuries at the beginning of the season. So I wonder if White actually prefers Sophie over Lexi, and it's just now Sophie's healthy, but it is weird for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something to keep an eye on. Lexi had been leading the league in 3-point shooting
Yeah.
percentage for a while. She was obviously a great defender, playing
Yeah.
well, and it's just, I'd really be interested. I don't always watch or often even watch the press conferences after the games. I'd like a reporter to ask Coach White what's going on
Yeah.
with Lexi's minutes.
Yeah. And
So,
then Aries minutes have been up and down and all over the place, it feels like, which part of that is just how much Clark is playing. But like sometimes she'll play 11 minutes or sometimes she'll play, 20 something. So that'll be interesting once they get healthy, if what the rotation ends up being.
well, I think last week we spent a couple of minutes talking about it felt like we had a good rotation now
Yeah.
and good subs 9, 10 deep easily and so hopefully that'll play out but I think I still think Caitlin's injury is going to be longer. I mean they need to just let her get fully healed. I think it's a 4 to 6 weeks if, you know the being a non-medical professional but being somebody who's been injured a lot in athletics, I think for her to get fully healthy is probably 4 to 6 weeks. And
Yeah.
then Lexi's kind of a mystery
Yeah.
injury, it seems like. And her minutes are down with no explanation, just her minutes are down 50%. And so, yeah, I don't, it kind of you go from a good 9 player rotation down to a 7.5 player rotation or something. I mean, I'm not sure what's
Yeah.
going on there, but so hopefully, maybe Caitlin will heal up more quickly than the normal human being and get back into things in quicker order. But
You want to err on the side of caution. There's been so much this season that hopefully they don't
yeah,
rush her back. And they've been able to stay about 500 with her in and out. So just keep her out and make the playoffs and see what happens.
yep. So then this weekend was the All-Star festivities in Indy.
Yeah.
Indy was,
And
I think, did a great job hosting it, it seemed like.
yeah, all the coverage you saw was very high on how Indy treated it, showed all the signs everywhere. We were there, what, 3 weeks ago? Two and
No,
a half
just two
weeks
weeks.
ago now? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, I guess.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of stuff there already, but there's even more. There were some big Asia and Sabrina building signs, and just everywhere you went, it was very present. And then I think just all the events they did surrounding it. Yeah, it sounds like everyone said pretty much it was the best All-Star. So
Yeah.
that kind of Indy raised the bar for what to expect going forward. So that's fun to see. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. A lot of fun. And, I watched the skills challenge and the 3-point shooting contest
Hmm.
Friday night. The skills challenge is a little bit silly
It
with
is. You
the,
don't have to make the shot. It doesn't make sense.
I
And you don't have to make the
know.
pass. So it's really just a quickness. It's who's the quickest in the
Yeah,
league.
I mean, it's like you should have to make the shot. before you get to move on. I mean, it just
Yeah.
doesn't make any
It's not
sense to
skills,
me.
it's quickness.
Yeah, it
I
really
mean,
is.
Natasha Cloud is quick.
She is
Um,
quick.
yeah.
So yeah, but the 3-point contest was fun though. I thought that
Yeah.
was really interesting. And uh, if you had asked me beforehand, I could have won some money betting who would have finished last place. I said on our family thread when we saw the list of who was going to be in it, one of these doesn't fit with the others. And
Yeah.
Citron's good, but she's not known for being a great 3-point shooter.
No,
She's a
and
good
not
player.
like the quickest release either. You know, she knocks down an open three. You
Yeah, I
kind of have
mean,
to be quick there.
she's a good player, and she's having
Yeah.
a great rookie year. I just don't know why they put her in a 3-point shooting
I don't
contest.
know either. It was a little strange, but sometimes players don't want to do it because, most of the time you're just going to end up looking bad and not winning. So there might be, a lack of interest potentially. But there is money on the line. It was also funny in the skills contest, Skylar Diggins, was a little bit hurt by how high her arc is on her shot because it took so long and she had to wait and see. She should have just shot them all immediately
Right.
and not waited to see if it went in because it takes like 3 seconds to watch if it's going to go in.
Right.
But yeah, Sabrina can just go to another level in that. And once she gets in a rhythm in games and in the 3-point contests, it's over for a little while. So that's fun to
Yeah.
watch.
We've always said she's a super streaky shooter. I mean,
Yeah,
and she when she gets on a roll,
yeah,
she just doesn't miss. I mean,
right.
she's great, and she got on a roll, especially
And
in
it
the
doesn't matter
final.
deep or not deep. Like she hit those starry
Yeah.
logo ones or whatever it's called. So
Right.
when she's hot, she's the best shooter in the league, maybe, but it's not, consistent. But yeah,
Yeah, she's inconsistent, but yeah, when she's hot, she, a worthy champion for sure.
yeah.
And yeah,
And the
so
second only player to have won twice now. Allie Quigley won a couple times. So Sabrina's only the second player to have won multiple 3-point contests.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I always think those are fun. I think I don't like the starry. I mean, they're making it a little more gimmicky, even a 3-point shot. I
Yeah.
mean, I've always enjoyed the 3-point shooting contest, even back in the with the NBA. It seems
Yeah.
like everything's becoming a little more gimmicky, a lot of money
Yeah.
balls, the starry thing. But still, it's still a shooting competition, and it's still
Hmm.
fun to watch.
Right.
But the All-Star game itself is a
Yeah,
little too much gimmick.
it is. Yeah. And especially, yeah, I mean, it's really their break, and they don't get much of a break during the regular season, and most of the teams play again on, Tuesday or Wednesday, so it's not like they're going to go out and play really hard. But yeah, having the 4-point shot doesn't really help. I think probably half of the shots were from there practically, it felt like, and you miss some of those pretty badly because it's not shots most players are taking in their natural rhythm. But it was fun. The first bucket of the game, Paige made a 4-point shot, so that was a fun way to start the game. And then the game ended. Um, well, Team Collier demolished Team Clark, and it was never close. I think they outscored them by about 20 in the first quarter, and it was like 50 something to 30 something after one. And then they never really got close. They maybe got to 16 or something. But then the very last shot, also, Team Clark had the ball. There's like 4 seconds left, and Iriafen launches a 4-point shot just to try to make one before the end of the game and misses, and Stewie gets the rebound and just passes it back to Iriafen to take another one, and she makes the second one. So that was like a fun way to end the game.
So does Stu get an assist for that,
No, she got a
or?
turnover and Iriafen got a steal. But
Uh,
um, you gotta love Stewie for that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, it's just an all-star game.
right. Yeah,
No one's
that's
taking it too
funny.
seriously, but
Yeah. Yeah.
and it wasn't really a particularly exciting game because it was never competitive. So fun to end it with a little bit of a splash. But yeah,
Well, you had thought that uh, Nafisa's team was stronger than Caitlin's team, and then
yeah.
they
And
lost
Caitlin is
Caitlin and they
out.
lost
Sabali was
Sabali.
out. Jackie
And
Young literally just played the first minute, and that was all she did just to get the nod. And Asia played less than 10 minutes, so they
yeah,
didn't have a full, it wasn't competitive. Yeah.
no, it wasn't competitive at all. But the
Yeah.
weaker team of the two had some of their best players out. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was tough. So not much of a game, not much
No.
interesting there. But it kind of, does mark the right around the midpoint of the season. So I thought we could maybe talk about some just reflections on the first half of the year and kind of midseason awards. We're going to agree on The four major categories pretty easily. First half MVP, it's got to be Nafisa.
Yeah, easy. She won All-Star MVP, which was nice. But yeah, she and set the record for most points in an All-Star game, however meaningful that is. Enrique was the previous holder, which is no surprise, but she didn't have the 4-point shot, so I imagine she would have scored a few more if she had the 4-point shot. But yeah, Nafisa has been so good on both ends of the floor, and Minnesota has been the best team in the league, the most consistent,
Yeah.
and yeah, kind of hard to argue against her.
Yeah. And hopefully she'll have a good second half and
Yeah.
get that
She's
first
dropped,
MVP
her
award.
numbers have dropped just a little bit. She was shooting 50, 40, 90 for probably the first 15 games or so. Her 3-point shooting has come down a little bit, but from the floor and from the free throw line, she's still um, just out of
Yeah.
this world,
And
incredible.
she
And
actually missed a free throw this week or two, where she had
okay,
been on a streak of like 40 some
yeah, yeah.
straight free throws without a miss. I mean, so yeah, her probably getting tired, but hopefully she can get some rest and have a strong second half. So the next award, Defensive Player of the Year, or in the WNBA, also known as runner-up to the MVP.
Well,
So,
I actually might disagree with you on this one, but who do you have for that?
well, I'm going with our runner-up to the MVP award and saying it's Asia, probably is
Yeah,
who I would vote for.
and that's, I mean, it's tough to argue against Asia, and she's won it a couple times in addition to 3 MVPs. But I think with Vegas, like not even being a playoff team half the season, it's a little harder to make the argument for her because they've just been so bad. I'm going with Gabby Williams. She's,
Shocker.
yeah, one of my favorite players, but she's been so good. And like she's just a terror on defense and just makes so many things happen. She can switch. I think she's like would if she maintains her steals per game, that would be the highest mark ever for steals per game in the W. She rebounds. She um, yeah is just a matchup nightmare. Like no one wants to be guarded by Gabby. So I'm giving the nod to Gabby.
Yeah, well, hard to argue with that. I was just looking at some stats, and I think that right now Asia actually leads the league in PER, even more than Nafisa leads the league in win shares, but
Hmm.
Asia leads the league in PER. And I just think, well, I don't know if the voters even look at advanced stats. I don't know what they look at, but you know,
Yeah, it
I
might
just
just
think
be
it's going to
they might
be,
just look at rebounds and steals and give it
yeah,
to and blocks because Asia
yeah,
I think has the most blocks and steals, like the highest
yeah.
of the two combined, plus rebounds. So
Yeah. I mean,
good chance Asia gets it, but Gabby deserves it.
Gabby would be a worthy winner, but yeah, it's more prediction, but and also kind of poking fun at the voters. It feels like
Yeah,
sometimes just the second best player gets the defensive award no matter what. So
right.
a little bit of a poke there.
Yeah.
So coach of the year,
Natalie Nakase. No one really would have predicted that Golden State would have been better than like 4, 5, 6 teams in the league this year, but they've been really good. Some people would say just because they're not, one of the top 3 or 4 teams that it should be one of the top 3 or 4 team coaches that gets it. But Natalie has far exceeded expectations.
I like that choice. I actually had Cheryl Reeve, so we are
Yeah.
disagreeing more than I thought. I mean, I just feel like Minnesota is not a team of superstars like New
Yeah.
York or Las Vegas even has more superstars. You could
Yeah.
argue Seattle has more superstars than Minnesota,
Yeah.
and just to have the year they're having, obviously Nafisa is great and arguably the best player in the world right now, but yeah, just the to put that team together, to play the way they do, to win the way they do, to be dominant in net rating. I mean, really, they had a great first half, and so I feel like a lot of that's got to be, give a tip of the hat to the coach for that. So actually, I thought we'd agree on all four, and we're
No,
only
no.
one for three so far on our agreement. So, but yeah, I like your choice though. That's a little bit of a zig there,
Yeah.
and I went with
I don't know
maybe.
that she'll get it. I think what I've seen more is like Nate Tibbetts because Phoenix is pretty high in the
Uh,
rankings, but or
Yeah, I'd still
standings.
like Cheryl Reeve as my that
Or
would be
Natalie. If it's not Cheryl, it better be Natalie, right?
yeah, I would have Natalie as second. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the fourth major award is Rookie of the Year, and I think this one we'll agree on.
Yeah. It's Paige. It's
Obvious.
not
Yeah.
close. I think the media likes to pretend that it is a bit of a battle, and you understand why. I mean, it's not that exciting to have a foregone conclusion.
Right.
But it's Paige. She was the consensus number one pick. She's obviously rookie of the year, doing a lot with not a lot of help.
Yeah, definitely. And
And
she, yeah, I think,
her game is translated really quickly. Her mid range, her passing, her defense. So yeah,
yeah, I agree. I'd have Paige definitely for rookie of the year. I think she's leading rookies in scoring, assists, and maybe steals. I think there's one other category she was leading rookies in.
probably
So
steals. Yeah.
yeah, so I think, to me it's an easy choice there and well deserved. She's got, it's a tough situation. Hopefully, they can tank and get the first or second pick and figure out something with Enrique in her slot, either letting her go and getting a free agent in. But yeah, it's
We'll see. It'll be
rough.
interesting to watch the second half of the season because Dallas has had some injuries. So Paige was out for a little bit. Enrique's missed some time. Um, but it was, if you remember last year, it was really the second half of the season after the Olympic break that Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark started clicking together and looked like a whole other team after the Olympic break last year. So sometimes it just takes some time together. So hopefully Enrique and Paige can make that adjustment. But yeah, if not, they've got to figure out something.
Enrique's just had a rough year. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know if there is an adjustment to make. Kelsey, there's a pattern with her having a slow start and
Yeah.
heating up, and so I mean, I just don't know if there is room. I mean, they've been playing their rookie guards a lot in
Yeah.
Dallas, and so yeah, we'll see the second half. I don't know what'll be there. But any other storylines for the second half of the season as you're looking ahead? I mean, one big one is still to me potentially the Emma Miesemann, still no
Yeah.
news. And
Yeah.
if she signs with somebody, that could really swing the
For
playoffs
sure.
a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Um, That is a big one. Another, this isn't related to play on the floor, but the CBA negotiations are going on. There was a big meeting over All-Star weekend, and like over 40 players were there, I think, and not really happy with what the league is proposing. So that'll be something to keep an eye on if they're able to get what they want. And it sounds like the two big things are higher salaries and then like revenue share because they don't currently have that. So those are pretty reasonable things. So yeah, we'll see about that. Otherwise, it probably is going to come down to health a lot. Even for the All-Star game, a lot of the top players were out or limited minutes. So yeah, it's going to be what team can be healthy and clicking at the right time. It'll be nice to see Jonquel coming back soon, I think. I think she's practicing again, so hopefully she gets back in and can stay healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Can
mean, health
Vegas,
does seem to be a big storyline.
yeah, can
Obviously,
Vegas
with
right the ship?
yeah,
We'll
I don't
see.
know. I mean, that'll be an interesting storyline. But obviously, as Indiana Fever fans, Caitlin Clark's health is the biggest storyline for the second half
Mhm.
for the Fever. How quickly can she come back? Can she stay healthy? So health just seems to be a through line with a lot of the teams. There's a lot of
Yeah.
injuries, a lot of issues with some of the best players in the league. And, Minnesota, I think, has done okay health wise. And sometimes it just comes down to that, who's
Yeah.
healthiest at the end of the year. So, um, yeah. So, what about maybe transitioning into what were they thinking? Or anything that you had as far as what were they thinking in the
I mean, I think
WNBA?
we already talked about this with the All-Star and like the 4-point shot. It's a little bit gimmicky and it there's a certain like ooh ah factor when someone hits a 4-point shot, but it really makes the game pretty boring if they're just jogging up and down the floor and chucking up 4-point shots. Rebecca Lobo had a suggestion that instead of having a 4-point shot, AT&T does like a elbow jumper or something like that, and would much rather see players taking a bunch of elbow jumpers. So yeah, it's just not that interesting to watch.
Well, it's not real basketball, right? I mean, a 4-point shot isn't part of the game. It's just a
Right.
made up gimmick, and then it just feels fake and it doesn't feel like a real game anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, I mean, I think, we didn't discuss this beforehand, but did discuss it just a bit ago. Just the whole CBA. I mean, what are the owners and commissioner thinking? I mean, they've got an opportunity,
Yeah.
and they're going to try to squeeze every dime out of these collective bargaining agreements. I mean, you got a chance. You got the golden goose right now.
Yeah.
Your popularity has never been so high. There's a real opportunity to work with the players and make the
Mhm.
league a success.
Yeah.
And I mean, it looks like, I mean, the things I read is the players submitted their initial proposal and didn't hear from the owners for months.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
it's just
months and months and months. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's just what are they thinking? They don't. I mean, I know negotiations go back and forth, and but this is where the both sides need to come together and say, let's be realistic. Let's not just try to nickel and dime each other here,
Yeah.
but we've
And the
got an
revenue sharing is a
opportunity.
big thing because then if the revenue is good, the players benefit. And if it's not good, then the owners aren't losing a lot of money. But like they don't even get, if someone buys their jersey or if, thousands and thousands and thousands of people are buying Caitlin Clark gear all the time and she doesn't see a penny of that. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. I mean, what are they thinking? They need
Yeah.
to get this solved, get it figured out.
And
And
part of it is that the NBA has too much control over it. And they don't even, the WNBA doesn't even own a majority of itself. So they should really, with the expansion fees, they should be buying back majority share in their own company.
yeah, I don't know how that works exactly. I mean, does NBA, are they partial, because they partial owners of teams? I mean, I don't understand how that
I don't
works
know
because I
how,
thought you had owners of teams. What else is there to own? I don't
I don't
really
know.
understand. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if it's the Amazon opportunity, they're getting some wealthy people involved in being owners. Just buy back the ownership, become
Yeah.
independent from the NBA. Women's basketball is skyrocketing right now, really popular. They've got a great opportunity. Don't blow it, WNBA. This is your chance. So let's get this done. Get a good collective bargaining agreement that'll be fair to the players, fair to the owners, and take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, news and notes for the week. The big news for us as a podcast was you made a semi-viral tweet.
Yeah. You can call what, I don't know what the number ended up being, but multiple tens of thousands.
Yeah, it ended up being 72,000
Okay.
tweets. The sassy Sophie tweet that Sophie actually reposted on
Yeah.
Twitter/X herself, although she reposted a repost, unfortunately, not our direct tweet. But got a lot of comments, had over 72,000 views on Twitter. And then on YouTube, it's actually the engagement has been continuing to go up. It's like completely stalled out on Twitter. It's 72 and it's just kind of sitting there. But I think I checked the YouTube short was at 38,000 views yesterday and it's at 40,000 views today. So it's still got some traction going on YouTube. So news for us. First any kind of significant what viewership of anything that we've put out there. So we got to
Yeah.
figure this short thing out. People don't want to watch a 30-minute podcast, evidently. They
I
want to
guess not.
get a 6-second clip of Sophie Kenningham doing funny things.
Right. Well, there you go.
So yeah, we got to figure out a way to get that and it was fun to follow that. It was just a fun day. I think you uh, posted it on Twitter/X Sunday night. And Monday morning, I just happened to look at it and I was like, oh, wow, it's like a few thousand views. How about that? That's amazing. Because we've normally been getting like at best dozens of views on our podcasts. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, it's going up by 1,000 every 5 minutes here or something. It's just like really got a lot of traction on Monday. And so that was fun. Um, Big news for the podcast. I don't know how many of those are discrete between Twitter and YouTube, but total, over 100,000 views if they're
Yeah.
discrete from each other. So, yeah, big news for W Hoops podcast this week.
There
Any
you
other
go.
news and notes around the league?
I mean, it's just a busy week coming up for Indiana again. They got another 3 game week, and New York again, which is unfortunate because they were just in New York and had to come back to Indy for All-Star, back to New York. And then they have Vegas on Thursday and Chicago on Sunday. Um, I expect to lose to New York again, but
Yeah.
hope you can pull out a win against Vegas and certainly Chicago.
Boy, that's a lot of traveling for them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. They're going f from
New York home, then to Chicago.
yeah.
Chicago's not as bad, but
Well,
still.
I guess they had a homestand where they had multiple home games in a row there, but then
Yeah.
they went to Connecticut, to New
And then the
York,
start of August
back
is
to
pretty
Indy,
brutal.
back to New York. Vegas is at Indy. Yeah, Chicago's not too bad of a flight, but
No.
that's a lot of traveling
Yeah.
in
I don't
just
even
a
know. Do you think
2 week
they fly
period.
to Chicago or do they drive? I don't know. Um,
I don't
it's
know.
probably
I
not
mean,
that
it's what
much of
it's
a
a
difference.
3.5 hour drive or something. I mean, it's 3 hour
Right.
drive. It's pretty. Maybe get a luxury bus and go on a team bus. I don't know, but
Wow. But then to start August, August 1st at Dallas, August 3rd at Seattle, August 5th at LA, August 7th at Phoenix. So that's a tough little stretch out there. But
yeah.
we'll see if they
Well,
can stay above 500, keep in the playoff race, and let CC get some rest. That's ideal.
yeah. I think that is what they need to do. Just try to get her healthy and then just kind of keep their heads above water and stay in the playoffs. It's really, I mean, I think it's not going to be too hard to stay in the playoffs if they
There's
can.
enough bad teams out there.
Yeah, there's enough bad teams that Golden State seems to be finally falling off a little
Yeah.
bit, and so hopefully they'll be able to stay. But you really don't want to be like the 7 or 8 seed. You want to get
Yeah.
up to the 6 seed at least, because you can avoid New York and
Although
Minnesota.
if you're a 7 or 8 seed, you get just a 5 game series versus a 7 game series versus New York or Michigan or Minnesota. So that might actually be advantageous because
You have had this theory. I still
it's gonna
think
be tough to
they
beat
they
them in a
lose a
7 game series.
they lose a 5 game series too, though. I think
But imagine you get one hot Lexie Hall game that could swing the series, but
yeah,
not in a 7 game series, but in a 5 game series, maybe.
yeah, yeah. But interesting theory. We'll see. I'd still rather
I
be a
mean,
higher
New York
seed.
or Minnesota's winning, unless
Mhm.
Miesemann goes somewhere like Seattle. But
Yeah.
even then, I would think that New York or Minnesota is the favorite to win.
All right. Well, I think that's it for the W Hoops podcast today. Everyone, please be sure to subscribe and leave a comment or a review, and we'll see you next week.